Israel, Yashala. Real quick video giving all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadash Barakatah Yahweh Barakatah Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. My salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect, most high will. Men, women, and children, and we continue to exalt those names. Yahweh, he is to be Yahweh Shai. He that delivers, he that saves. That's the Father, name of the Father and the Son. And we always say in the Holy Spirit. And we say Spirit Holy because we talk from right to left, basically. So the Most High is going to give us our heart's desire, man. And it made me think, because you know, you know how I like to do. I talked about the 90s, 80s sometimes. I talk about the old school a lot because I see the references. I see the things that we did as Jake that, you know, it kind of reflects how the Most High saw us as a nation growing up, you know. Most High was always with us, and we were always his children. And so even through our days in the earth, even the segment of days and months and years, if you will, in this place, you know, 10-year periods of this place, after decades, you could see the growth, you could see the destruction, you could see when things happen and the enemy infiltrated. And that Jake see it now, you know, he didn't really know that back then, but now all the information, truth is out. He's like, damn, they did put crack in the neighborhoods during the 80s and 90s. They did use our people as, you know, and paid our people off as a bait and all that. So you be like, damn, man. So it kind of makes you retract a little bit, but I retract and I try to line it up to scriptures or some form of how we have come into the knowledge right now. And, you know, it says, you know, we're going to have our heart's desire. So we're going to have many women as we want. We're going to have concubines. Because if you desire a concubine, Most High, you know, he'll give you a concubine. You can't fall in love and worship their gods and all that. But they're not going to have any gods when the kingdom comes. Because everybody going to serve. Everybody going to know that the Most High Yahweh, he is the God of all gods. They're going to know that. And they're going to know Jacob is the, you know, the sons of God. Now, back then, the reason I mentioned the 90s, because back then, and I think this is the mid 80s to into the 90s, I think, they had they had a magazine come out called Jet Magazine, and many more magazines they came out with that featured black models, black artists, black musicians, black anything, any topic that had to do with black success. They had it in this magazine, and it was kind of like an honoring those celebrities, honoring those figures of, you know, of the black body, if you will, of celebrities. See, they have here Beauty of the Week. See, they'll have something like Jet Magazine, and you'll have Venus and Serena as a, you know, topic. They both won a trophy. They're sisters that played that played tennis, and I think they both won trophies. I don't know what level of you know, of trophy that they got, but you know, they both doing pretty well, and if I'm not mistaken, they still doing pretty well. I mean, especially Serena, and they you know, they're women, two women, black women that grew up in Compton, and they were getting a lot of slack and feedback and racial slurs about them being ghetto, and I think even Serena twerked one time on a tennis court or something like that, or crip walk. She was sea walking on the. I know that for a fact, but I don't know if she twerked, but she was sea walking, and he was like, it kind of made them look sideways about you know tennis and the victory of tennis players and their celebration or whatever. But um, you know, and my point with this is when I looked at, because they have shorts like this on TikTok, and when I always go to the comments just to see what Jake is thinking, and almost every male Jake that remember these times, you know, of the Jet magazine, and even buying their parents buying Jet magazines. When you were in barber shops, they were displayed. And they had them on a display rack, and you could just go in, like you get your hair cut, and you can go in and read a Jet magazine. And they say they'll go to the 42nd and 43rd page. Most of them said this, and go straight to the beauty of the week. And I used to do that too. I was like, damn, man, there's some pretty black women. And a lot of them said, most of them said also that they used to tear out the page of the Black Beauty and have them on a wall. So they have a wall full of Black Beauties because it came out. It was a Black Beauty every month, I think. So every month, they have an issue. Jet magazine come out issue of the what do you call it, the Beauty of the Week. And well, it was actually 1950s, 60s, 70s. So yeah, and it went into the 80s. I think, I don't know when they stopped. I think it's still out, but it's not that popular no more because they killed the black. They killed a lot of that black excellent stuff back then. Ebony magazine, and not only that, but when you had Ebony magazine, Jet magazine, I forget the other ones, man. Those were two of the most popular ones. And then you got into where uh they man, what was that other one? King magazine. That's when our women, they started, they put our women with no clothes and twerking. Because even if you go to Jet magazine, um, Beauty of the Weeks, even being in let me give you an example. Even being in where they had, barely any clothes on it. They said swimsuit edition or whatever, or they usually had swimsuits on. You didn't think nothing. It wasn't like ratchet. You didn't think of no sexual perverted shit. It wasn't no twerking involved, and that women were natural. Um, let me pull up Jet magazine features. Just give you an example. I'm gonna tie it in a little bit. Jet magazine. So you have, like this, and then even as a man, you were like, damn, she's pretty as hell. Let me see the Beauty of the Week. Yeah, that's one of the main topics. See, but you really never thought, you were like, damn, Jake, when you young and shit, you be like, damn, I want a wife like that. You know, they were like pretty magazine women. Some of them were around the way girls, but they were pretty. And you be like, damn, man, I'll marry her. When you young and shit, unlearned. But they, that was a 42nd or 43rd page. Somebody said in the comment. But they had issues too. The regular subjects and issues with racism and music, regarding music, and struggles and all that. And but Jake was the main point too. Is Jake in the comments? Most of the Jakes that even had access to his magazine or purchased magazine, or it was at the barber shop, or his parents bought the magazine and they just read it because they were like little kids, maybe 9 to 10 years old. They say they would put all the beauty of the week girls up on the wall. Like they had the Fresh magazine, they had Word magazine where all your, and sometimes you have your favorite artist on the wall because you wanted to be a rapper, you wanted to be, you kind of modeled yourself after them. But when it came to the women, Jake could have all the jet beauty women on the wall. So he have like 20 Jet magazine women on. How much as far as how they came out, he would post. He would just take the page out and tape it on the wall. So you have you go over your homeboy's house, you know, and he'll have you go to his room and he'll have like 20 Jet magazine women on the wall and shit, man. You know, and it was nothing wrong with that, man. That was the norm for Jake. So now everything's watered down and everything has been, you know, everything has been it's sentimental. People like Esau done that shit in the world. He controls the narrative. He put that in the world to where now Jake, if he had that same kind of feel and vibe, oh, they had Vibe magazine too. Just go to the magazines of the '90s, and you can go to the '80s too. Black magazines of the '80s, and then they got the images. Yeah, yeah, you had some teen Word Up. Oh yeah, it was called Word Up, not Word, but Word Up. Right On magazine. All these features in the magazine. Ebony magazine. It was about us. Hot. I don't know if I ever. But yeah, Ebony and Jet was the main ones. Um, and then like I said, you had something like King magazine. King magazine, which it got worse. That's when it was as people started. That's Brandy, people started being more revealing, more naked pictures, porn stars in there, corn stars in there. So it got worse, man. But um, you know, but let me get this picture off. But yeah, because it was normal for a man to want many. I want, you young man, you want all the women and shit. You want all the beautiful women that you can get and shit. So that's why they had those all those women on the wall. They wanted every one of those women. But hard times came. Jake struggling, so he said, "You know what? I can't even afford. I'm not really a celebrity. I'm not really a rapper. I'm not really, I'm just get what I can. So you get a woman, you find the first cool ass female, and you be like, yeah, I'm gonna make her my wife. But come on, man, you see the celebrity world. Soon as they make money and they don't want to be bound to one woman, man. And if it looks like that, come on, behind closed doors, they like open relationship. They trading partners, swapping. They got what is that called? They had that in Martin there with swingers and all that. Nobody, but a real man, he desires all those women. Like, damn, man, I want them all, man. But the Most High ain't gonna let us have that until we're able to righteously do it. You know, till we're able to put things in perspective. That's why it talks a lot about don't follow a woman for beauty. Don't get caught up in the lust thereof. Because if you're a king, and you ruling your kingdom, you can easily be taken down if you're not wise and you're not staying on that level, taken down by these women. It says a harlot shall turn a man to a piece of bread, and our women have chose the harlot route. Most of our women have chosen the harlot route. Don't get it twisted. They took up stripping as a career. They IG is a damn business for them. It's pretty much a platform and kind of like an open business for them. They can get money. They can lure men in. There's some pretty ass women on IG, man. Natural women too, like natural women that you think you use the thing like natural women are like they're more grounded and they more slutty than I mean they just as slutty as the women that put on all that makeup and wigs and all that. Um, so there's wisdom has to be applied, balance, and we have to understand that we got to be in love with the Most High before these women. And we don't really, a man ain't supposed to fall in love with a woman. She's supposed to fall in love with him. His love exceeds that. Like it says of David and Jonathan, they have exceeded the love of a woman. Not on no weird shit, but you find your brother that he in the same thing, you know, like that's how it used to be in the 80s. Like, damn, I rap, you rap too. Let's make a group and shit, and you got a rap group, and then he becomes your brother. You didn't even know him, but he becomes your brother, and you be like, man, I got love for you, bro. Like, shit, and that's how it is in this truth. And women don't understand that, but it was more understandable in the 80s and 90s. I would tell you that a lot of things were more understandable according to the mind state of a man. Even though you had that conflict of interest with the battle of the sexes and all that, there was still respect um, and a little bit of love. Enough of love where Jake was like, yeah, man, that we really doing this thing. It's really happening. But, you know, it's in us to want our heart's desire. And it says that in the scriptures, Psalms 22:2, thou hast given him his heart's desire and hast not withholden the request of his lips. And Most High said, as for me, I shall give the heathen for thine inheritance. So if we ask for, man, Lord, I want many women, like, you got certain celebrity crushes, and it says Salah. It says you got certain crushes, like, you got to, like, you find yourself like, man, he's like, man, I really like Rihanna. Then you see Beyonce, well, damn, I like Beyonce too. You see, Maya, and you be like, damn, man, I want them all and shit, you know? And you can, I thought of what do you call it? In Living Color skit. When it's, I don't know, I don't know if I could say it right, man. But if you ever watched In Living Color, but Damon Wayne was a slave, and and he was in a world of where it was freedom now, and David Allegria was walking by, and then he was like, hey man, this David was like, this slave master, he's coming, and said, you got to hide out. He's like, man, what are you talking about? He's like, no, man, my pops told me. And then David Allen Grillen was like, man, what are you talking about? We free, brother. You can have your heart's desire. He was basically saying, you can have, if you want, you can. He's like, where'd you get that suit on or something like that, clothes or something? He's like, brother, you can have what you want. If you want it, brother, it's yours. He was basically, he said, I think it was hinting to those words, you can have your heart's desire, brother. We free now. And then the cops came and it was a little funny skit, man. It's a humorous skit. The cop arrested them both, and then No, it's like he arrested David Allen Greer, the one that said he was free, and then Damon Wayans as a slave. He was like, I guess, and he said the cops told him you able to move on, you free to go, but they arrested David Allen Greer that was talking about freedom and liberty, and then Damon that was playing the slave, he was like, well, I guess we ain't free. I got to keep moving. Pops told me to keep moving. It says we in this day of our captivity, but we're not captive to where the Most High won't let us into His domain, His house, His spiritual realm. So we have access to that. So we're rich in faith. We're rich in knowledge, wisdom, understanding. And Jake, they don't understand that. But when you're rich in a king, best believe you're not going to have one woman. You might have a main woman, but you definitely going to have many other women, you know. So I'm just letting you know that this place has been watered down and they took a lot of strength from Jake. And so, but Jake back then, even in the 80s and 90s, I ain't talking about the ancient days, I'm talking about 1980s and 90s, Jake was on that. He was wanting a lot of women, but he couldn't get it. He didn't have enough money. He didn't have a house. He didn't have a car. So he just can get what he can. So, and now these women have turned like, yeah, nah, you can't mess with, they given, the ball's been in their court a little bit with rights and, certain freedom, liberties that pertain to women. They be like, well, I don't want you to have another woman. I think that's even illegal in America to, have more than one woman or even or practice it. And they call it, what do they call it? Polygamy, I think. But it was natural, and it like I've said before, is natural in the Eastern world too. Most of the Eastern world, they practice, or their customs is that you can have more than one woman. So that's the Western world doing that, man. Don't model yourself after the Western world, man. Don't model yourself after Jesus. Anything that was taught in this American world, and on the land of America, disregard, man. Go back to the ancient. That's how we speak. We speak from the ancient. So, fuck this new shit, new world order type of shit, new speak and all that shit. Anything new. It even says, ask of the fathers of the old, ask of the ancient, Go back to the ancient of days. Because all this new shit, New Jerusalem is not, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this new shit, this new American shit. New Jerusalem, that's something different. And it's not so new, it's just refreshed, a refreshed Jerusalem. How it says better promises? It's still the same promise, but it's better. You get a car, and it's still the same car, but the Most High fixed it up as a better car. That same car, now I got a new engine. That same car, now I got a new paint job. That same car, now I got a new seats. Same car, it's the same car, same people. It just got new things added to it. So, anyway, yeah, that's it. Shalom, holy, edifying.